In this video, we will talk about how to find the diagonal length of a rectangle. So I have two examples for us to work through here. Let's check out the first one. Let's say we have this rectangle, and let's say we're told this side length is 5 and this side length is 12. How can we find the diagonal? Now remember, the diagonal is just the line that runs from one vertex of the rectangle to the diagonally opposite vertex. So let's call that D. How can we find D if we know these side lengths? Well, it helps if we know that each of these interior angles of a rectangle is a 90-degree angle. So if you'll notice, what we really have here is a 90-degree triangle. And when we have a 90-degree triangle like this, we can use the Pythagorean theorem, which says a squared plus b squared must equal c squared, where a and b are the shorter side lengths and c is the hypotenuse of the triangle. So in this particular triangle here, the 5 and the 12 are the shorter side lengths and d is the hypotenuse. So all we have to do is plug in a 5 for A and plug in a 12 for B, and we can figure out what the diagonal length is. So let's do that. So let's say 5 squared plus 12 squared must be equal to, we'll say D squared, the diagonal squared. So 5 squared is 25, 12 squared is 144, is equal to D squared. 25 plus 144, that's 169, is equal to D squared. Now to solve for D, we just need to take the square root of each side. So the square root of 169 turns out to be 13. So that is equal to, the square root of D squared is just D. So the diagonal length is 13. All right, let's try one more example. Let's say we're told that the side length now is 3 and this side length is 8. How can we find the length of the diagonal? Well, once again, we're going to recognize that this forms a right triangle, so we can use the Pythagorean theorem again. So we can say, if we label this D, we can say 3 squared plus 8 squared must be equal to D squared. So 3 squared, that's 9. 8 squared is 64. And that's all equal to D squared. 9 plus 64 is 73. So we get 73 is equal to D squared. To figure out what D is, we can take the square root of each side, and we find that D is equal to the square root of 73. Now, the square root of 73 is not a whole number, so we can leave it like this if we want. If you did punch the square root of 73 into a calculator, you would find that it's about equal to 8.544. So the diagonal length is about 8.544. So you can use this same method to find the diagonal length of any rectangle if you know what the side lengths are.